when archaeologists discovered a mysterious tunnel beneath the ruins of the ancient Palace of Knossos. They thought they might have just found a secret passageway from the royal court. But what they didn't know was that this underground labyrinth held something far more sinister, something that would turn one of their own into the stuff of nightmares. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're delving into the chilling tale of the labyrinth beneath Knossos, a story that blurs the line between archaeology and horror. But it's best known for its connection to the legendary Minotaur, a creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man, born from King Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae. The myth goes that she had an affair with a white bull sent by Poseidon, god of the sea, and gave birth to the Minotaur after 9 months. To hide the creature's monstrous appearance, King Minos built a labyrinth, a complex network of tunnels. There were images of farmers harvesting crops, artisans working at their craft, and even depictions of the dreaded Minotaur. Could this labyrinth be the one spoken of in ancient texts? And would it reveal the truth behind the Minotaur legend? They uncovered a vast array of artifacts, including pottery, weapons, and jewelry, all of which provided valuable insights into the Minoan way of life. Among the most intriguing discoveries was a series of frescoes, or wall paintings, which depicted scenes from the life of the Minotaur. One fresco in particular stood out, showing a group of people entering the labyrinth. They had hired local guides who knew the area well and could help them navigate the tunnels and chambers. Then one day, as the team was exploring a particularly dark and narrow passage, disaster struck. The professor's flashlight flickered and died, plunging them into total darkness. Panic set in as they struggled to find their way out of the labyrinth. The professor could hear the others calling out for help, but their voices were growing fainter and fainter. She was lost and alone. The full moon cast an eerie glow over the ruins, and the wind was whispering through the trees. They walked in silence, the only sound their footsteps echoing through the tunnels. Suddenly, the professor's voice echoed through the labyrinth. "Over here," she called out. They tried to reach out to her, but she brushed them off, her eyes blank and unfeeling. They followed the sound and found her standing in a chamber, her eyes shining with excitement. As they approached the entrance to the labyrinth, the hairs on their necks stood up, and they could feel the presence of something ancient and evil watching them. The professor turned to them, a smile spreading across her face. They knew that the professor and the Minotaur were waiting for them, plotting their next move. They had escaped for now, but they knew that they would never be safe again. The labyrinth had claimed the professor, and they were next. "I am fine," she said, her voice sounding distant and cold. "I have found something amazing. Come with me." She turned and walked away, leaving the team stunned and confused. But as time went on, the guides became increasingly uneasy. The creature was coming for her, drawn by her scent and the sounds of her terror. "Behold," she said, "the true power of the labyrinth." From the shadows, a massive shape began to emerge. It was the Minotaur, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. With a roar, it lunged at the team. They screamed and scattered, trying to escape the labyrinth. The team looked at each other, confused and frightened. What was the professor talking about? What had happened to her? They could feel its hot breath on their necks as it pursued them relentlessly. They ran until they reached the entrance to the labyrinth and stumbled out into the moonlight, collapsing on the ground, exhausted and terrified. They searched for her, but there was no sign of her anywhere. Had she been taken by the monster? Or was there another explanation for her disappearance? Just when she thought all hope was lost, she found a passageway leading upwards. The team was about to give up hope when they received a message. It was from an address in Athens. They traveled there and found themselves outside a small house. On the doorstep was a package containing the professor's flashlight and a note written in her hand. It read, "I have found something incredible. Meet me at the labyrinth at midnight, and I will show you." Intrigued and worried, The team decided to go to the labyrinth that night. With renewed hope, she climbed, clawing her way through the darkness until she saw a faint light ahead. As she emerged from the labyrinth, she collapsed, weak and exhausted. They spoke of strange noises and unsettling feelings deep within the labyrinth, and they warned the professor to be careful. Their expressions were a mix of fear and reverence, suggesting that the Minotaur was not just a fearsome beast, but also a powerful symbol to the Minoans. As the archaeologists ventured deeper into the maze, the air grew colder and the silence more oppressive. The labyrinth seemed to be a place of secrets, whispering tales of a bygone era. For the legend of the Minotaur was not just a story, but a warning. As the professor and her team uncovered more about the Minotaur, they realized that the labyrinth was not just a place of sacrifice, but a prison, and whoever was guarding it would stop at nothing to keep its secrets buried. And chambers where the Minotaur was kept hidden until the beast grew too strong to contain. This is based on a terrifying urban legend. Let me know in the comments if you think this story is true or not. Knossos is the largest of 3 archaeological sites on the island of Crete, Greece. In a secluded chamber deep within the labyrinth, they found the skeleton of a young woman. Her bones were arranged in a circle, and around her were offerings of flowers and fruit. The discovery suggested that the Minotaur may have actually existed, and that the labyrinth was not just a myth, but a real place where people went to sacrifice themselves to the beast. To appease the gods and prevent further disasters, Minos demanded tribute from Athens, requiring 14 of their finest young men and women to be sent every 9 years as sacrifices to the beast. However, the discovery of the ruins of Knossos has brought new life to these old tales. Could there be some truth to the legend? And what secrets does the labyrinth hold? These poor souls would enter the labyrinth and become the Minotaur's prey. The only survivor of these grim offerings was Theseus, who managed to slay the beast and escape with the help of a ball of string. It was a moment that sent shivers down their spines. What they found was not just a series of tunnels and chambers, but a portal to the past, a tangible link to the days of the Minoan civilization. This, of course, led to the end of the human sacrifices. For many years, the story of the Minotaur was thought to be nothing but a myth, a figment of the ancient Greek imagination. In the heart of the sprawling palace complex at Knossos, archaeologists uncovered the entrance to a subterranean maze. The labyrinth was a triumph of ancient engineering. Its walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes from the daily life of the Minoans. One of the team members was Professor Evelyn Wright, a renowned archaeologist and expert on Minoan culture. She was both excited and nervous about the discovery. As the excavation continued, the team made some truly remarkable finds. It was during one of these excavations that Professor Wright and her team stumbled upon something truly horrifying. But as the team delved deeper into the mystery, they found themselves in grave danger. Professor Wright and her team were not alone in their exploration of the labyrinth. However, she was determined to uncover the truth behind the Minotaur, no matter the cost. Then she heard a noise behind her, a sound like the roar of a lion. But her ordeal was not over yet. As the other members of the team emerged from the labyrinth, they found the professor missing. Days turned into weeks with still no sign of the professor. They arrived at the labyrinth under the cover of darkness. Taking a deep breath, they entered the labyrinth. But something was not right. Her skin was pale, and her eyes were wide and unfocused. "Professor, are you all right?" one of the team asked. As they followed the professor deeper into the labyrinth, they realized that she was not the same. She was cold and distant, like a machine without a soul. They finally came to a large chamber, and in the center was a stone altar. The professor turned to them, her smile widening. As the professor stepped onto the altar, the ground rumbled and the walls shook. As they ran, they could hear the Minotaur crashing through the labyrinth, its heavy footsteps shaking the ground. They looked back at the labyrinth, its entrance gaping like a hungry maw. With that, the legend of the Minotaur wasn't just a myth. It was a warning, and they should have listened. What do you think? Do you believe that the Minotaur is real and lurking in our world?
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Your support keeps this channel alive and lets us bring you even more creepy, mysterious content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.